Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly reading for July the 4th to the 10th. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, keeping in mind that this is a general reading and will not resonate for everybody. All right, my friends, let's see what is the major message, the major theme of your week, Sagittarius. Forgiveness. Interesting. This came up for someone else as well. The card says, holding on to resentment and anger is preventing or even suffocating your spiritual growth. Resentment is one of the strongest and most damaging of human emotions. The act of forgiveness in its own right is equally incredibly powerful. And it has the capacity to heal and transform. Sorry, stumbling on my words there. So you've really got this message of forgiveness this week. Forgiveness can be transformative, and it doesn't involve contacting people. Look at what I cut the deck, and I see the Two of Cups in reverse and the Six of Swords. Sometimes forgiveness looks just like this, that there is something that happens between two people and one person just has to sort of let it go and move away from it. You don't need to call someone to be like, I forgive you, even though you didn't ask for forgiveness or you didn't apologize or whatever. Sometimes it's forgiving ourselves for being involved in something past a certain point. Sometimes we just have to forgive people in silence and just let them go and let the whole situation go, like the Six of Swords is suggesting. So there may be something you need to forgive, dear Sagittarius, and it could be sometimes that forgiveness, we need to give it to ourselves. Sometimes we hang on to resentment and anger over a situation because we're annoyed with ourselves for allowing something to go down the way it did and for being involved. Everything is a lesson, my friends. So let's try and sort of be forgiving when we can, even if it's just offering that forgiveness to ourselves. One more card for your top row. Oh, you got more than one. Okay, hang on. I've also got the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so here's your top row, which describes your present situation. So in the present situation, you've got the Four and the Five of Swords here. And on the bottom of the deck, it's the Lovers in reverse. So yes, this is definitely a situation where someone needs to forgive someone else, or themselves, like I was saying. I think this has to do with an intimate relationship between two people that formed in the past. There was some words that left everyone feeling defeated here. And now you're sort of recovering from the separation of you and this person. Seeing the Five and then the Four kind of makes me feel, and then there's the Six. It kind of makes me feel like you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Do you want this person in your life or no? Are you going to be able to forgive this and let it go? No. Are you angry? Are you okay with it? Like, I feel like you're sort of moving back and forth, like where you're sort of imagining them in the past and thinking, oh, it could have been, it should have been, if only I had whatever, you know what I mean? And seeing the world in reverse tells me that you're not accepting that this could just be over. This could just be something that came to teach you something, and now that's it. Now it's time to move on. Let this loop close and sort of move ahead, move on. That Nine of Pentacles in reverse is interesting because it really does suggest that you need to do some work with respect to evaluating a relationship that you have. You might be feeling kind of alone and lonely, which is making you revisit the past. You could be diving into work to sort of ignore or distract yourself from some emotional stuff that needs your attention. There might be something here that you feel really guarded about. And you're not really letting yourself have that full expression of what's happening for you because you don't want to go there, but I feel like you're going there. I feel like you've been going there and going back and forth, back and forth. That World card is in reverse, which tells me that you haven't quite completely understood the cycle you've just gone through. You're still sort of trying to take a shortcut, maybe. Forgive me for saying that, but there's some follow through that needs to happen in order to close the loop on this cycle. And it could be that it's forgiveness. There's unmet dreams. There's a delay here for you in something else, because by thinking about this past situation, you're keeping it alive. right? Because there is no there is no past and there is no future. It's just now. That's all that's real, is the present moment. And you're living in the past right now. And that is no place to take residence, because it's not a real location. Do you know what I mean by that? This is a time where you need to almost put your mind at rest and just say, I accept that this situation ended the way it did, and I'm okay with that. You know, like, there is a need for recovery here. There is a need to give yourself permission to heal from something. You've got to forgive yourself or this other person, or both potentially, for the roles you played in this moment of defeat where nobody won anything. There is no winning here. Everyone sort of said their piece and then went their separate ways without really feeling like it was fair or it was a victory. It wasn't. Everyone leaves this beach in the Five of Swords. Everyone leaves this beach feeling defeated, because ultimately the union wasn't successful. Ultimately, there was a union that wasn't successful. And look at that. We see the Nine of Cups there and the Queen of Cups. Very interesting, the cards that are sitting behind here. So, nobody got their emotions fulfilled. Nobody felt like this was a victory. Nobody felt satisfied when this ended. And maybe that's why you're having a hard time letting it go. Maybe you just keep replaying it in your mind and thinking, if only I had, if only they had. Like I said, being stuck in the past does not serve anybody. You must be at peace with your past so that you can see yourself living in the present, which is, again, the only thing that's real. So that Six of Cups tells me that you're stuck. You're stuck and needing to forgive yourself and to let people go and then let other things in. Because this Nine of Pentacles tells me that you're guarded. So this past situation could be making you sort of hesitant to be open to something new. You've got to close the loop on this, my friends, my Sagittarius friends. It's time. It is totally time to feel whole again and to forgive yourself by releasing anything. If you feel guilty, remorse, or maybe you need to forgive someone else. There is some emotion that is being triggered to remember something from the past, and it's time to sort of let that go. It's time. We're going to shuffle again and get your second row here. Your second row is going to describe what is sort of the highest guidance for you, or the path that will lead you to feel that you've put this behind you, Let's see here. What's the best outcome, best guidance for Sagittarius? Oh boy. So yeah, look at this. Yeah, it's time to celebrate this, because there is, out of this ending, you're going to get some choices here. If you can accept this ending and celebrate the fact that at least it's over, and at least you don't have to keep reliving it. By being in the past, you're sort of distracted and you're not able to pay attention to what's happening in the now. It's interesting because you've got the Four and the Three and the Four of Cups. So this situation for some of you is it's gonna be helped by sort of a new community of people. So like sitting with some friends and sort of letting this go. And then we see the Four of Cups as well, which is a time where we're so distracted by the past, we don't see this new offer coming in. So it sometimes is a message. Seeing them together sort of tells me that focusing on how good it was in the past isn't going to serve you now, because it ended. It's over, and it had a necessary ending here with this Three of Swords. It was painful, granted, but it was necessary. It led to an outcome that needed to happen, but it's like you haven't accepted that. We've got the Three, the Four, and the Five of Swords in your reading. We've got the Three and Four and Six of Cups, and then we see the Seven of Pentacles. So you've got to make a choice. You've got to make a decision about where you want to invest yourself. Will you continue to invest yourself in the past, sort of reliving it, or will you be able to let that go through forgiveness and move on to a new beginning here? We see two fresh pentacles here that you can explore It's a very interesting reading for you, Sagittarius, letting go of past old stories. You got to let these old stories heal through forgiveness and to sort of move on. I love seeing the 3 and 4 here because it's like there's this snapshot almost of celebrating with friends and then waking up the next day and still thinking about the past instead of sort of allowing yourself to just move away from the past. You know, it's interesting. That 3 of Cups really says to me like that it's almost like you need some emotional support right now. You know, I feel like emotional support will serve you to feel less distracted by the past so that you can see that beautiful cup coming in the future. Not even the future, in the present moment. Like that cup is being offered to you right now. So not accepting this loss and the need to heal keeps you stuck in this grief and sadness. And, you know, there is a part of you that needs to just forgive yourself. I can't help but say that. I feel like you and this other person both played a role in this relationship ending, but it was necessary. And now it's time to let your heart be open again. And the only way to unlock yourself is to let yourself be free. There's the devil in reverse. You are looped around this situation like an addiction. It's become almost obsessive. And it's like you just need to let this go. This is not serving you. It's not letting you be free. You are it's like you're a slave to this situation. You know, that's sort of what these cards are saying to me, is that you're a slave to the past right now, my dear Sag, and you've got to find a way to free yourself of this by staying in the present and forgiving yourself. And anyone else that needs forgiveness, again, they don't have to ask for forgiveness. They don't even have to say sorry or acknowledge you. You don't need to pick up the phone and say, I forgive you. You just have to almost say it to the universe. Like, I forgive myself and I forgive blank, whoever they are. And I'm ready to open my heart again. And to really stick to it, to just, anytime it comes up again in your mind, sort of trying to, and look, the Lovers are back. See? This is really interesting. The Lovers was on the bottom of the deck before, was it not? Very interesting. It's time to let this go and to say, at least I'm free now to be authentic. I'm free to be authentic, and I forgive myself for being in a situation that was out of balance, and I'm ready for a new beginning. See, the whole deck is talking to you, and you will free yourself from this. You are a slave right now. It's time to free yourself, my dear Sag. Oh my goodness, these cards are so fascinating to look at. Okay, let's grab your last card through the Autumn Sky Oracle deck, which is so hard for me to shuffle. The cards are massive and my hands are tiny. Okay. For Sagittarius, what is the highest guidance? Devotion. Take joy in the process, use creativity as a meditation, place intention in every action, do what feeds your soul, and practice patience. So really being devoted to this process and letting it go and tapping into joy, creativity, really placing intention with every action, very mindfully, very consciously, really noticing everything that's sort of happening within you so that you're not sort of sliding back towards something in the past. It's a very interesting message. This also makes me feel like you need the space to be able to move past this. So give yourself that space, maybe by doing something creative, doing something that brings you joy, something that feeds your soul. Remember, we saw that Lovers card. It's time for you to sort of be authentic and move towards something that resonates for you. Wow, very interesting reading. I'm going to leave it at that for you, Sagittarius. If this has resonated, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find that information in the description box below. I'm sending you so much love and light, my friends. Have a great week. Take care. We'll see you again soon.